Yo, yo, yo! Welcome back to the Built by Bailey's YouTube channel. All right, so this video is going to discuss the true cost to build. No. Is it going to discuss the true cost to build? I know everybody's getting excited. It is going to discuss how we get to a cost to build scenario. But no, I'm not going to just hand out a number to you like everyone calls and asks, hey, Shane, what is the cost to build today? Cost to build what? I mean, we all understand there's a lot of variables that go into building a home, I hope. And if you don't understand that, then step right into this video and follow along because I'm going to explain to you why the true cost to build can be so erratic, not just between builders and contractors, but between certain times of year and any scenario depending on what you're building. Okay. Yes, can I give you a really rough number to just kind of kick around? Because I know it can be, you can be so disoriented when it comes to the cost of building when you have no idea at all what those numbers would be. Some people think it's 50 bucks a foot. I get it. If you don't know what you're trying to look at, then you don't know what you're looking at. You don't know what the number is going to be. But I'm going to show you how we kind of break these things down. You're going to have a better understanding of what goes into a full cost to build scenario. So when you're delivered some sort of rough number to kind of kick around, you can then understand what's included in that number and what's not included in that number. And that's kind of what's going to go down with this video as far as breaking down these costs. So when someone kind of just gives you a ballpark, you know, okay, well, that doesn't include these things, but it does include those. All right. Before we go any further, you guys know what to do. Hit that subscribe button. Make sure you guys go follow me on Instagram. Plenty of material there. I have podcast shorts that pop up there and other little videos. There's information you can gather there. You can also contact me there. DM me for information as well. You can also drop your questions, comments below during this video. I will get to those in a timely manner as possible. All right. Without further ado, don't forget, thumbs up, bell, red button, subscribe, do it. You get more of these if you do that stuff, okay? All right, so we're going to talk, like I said a minute ago, of breaking down these different categories so you know what's in a cost to build. If I say it's a roughly $250 a square foot to build, you know what's included in that number. Pre-construction and site preparation. And again, this is broken down the same way that a build scenario would go from start to finish. And this is how I love to do my estimates because it makes sure that I don't miss anything. I can literally sit there in my own head and say, all right, we start with X, we go all the way to Y, or better said, you start with A, go all the way to Z. All right. So phase one is the pre-construction site preparation stuff. All right. So this is the first category of things included in the cost to build. And don't worry, at the end of this video, I'll give you a rough cost right now. I'll give you a kind of a parameter, a couple curves to kind of sit on. This is for cost to build in the state of Colorado. Okay. I don't know other states right now. I'm only building in Colorado. All right. So all required plan sets and construction documents, engineering, permitting. This says Boulder County. This is just from an old one. Don't, take that with a grain of salt. It's for different counties. Everything's different per county too. So keep that in mind. So that's meaning all of your architectural plans, all of your structural documents, engineering, IECC required documents, any of the paperwork that comes from those categories is going to be item number one in here. That's included in your cost to build if I was to give it to you. Soils test, per your soils engineer, you got to pay for that. Site survey. Okay, a survey is required for new construction in the state of Colorado. When you come to me and say, don't worry, I have an ILC, I don't care. Okay, I have to have a survey. That's about twice the cost of an ILC, all right? And that survey will again be used when you do excavation and foundation because we got to make sure we're building exactly in the right spot per the site plan and the survey, all right? That is included in your cost to build. Estimated Boulder County, estimated permit fees for the entire project, okay? All of the permit fees. And listen, permits, especially for new construction, they're not cheap anymore, okay? So don't think it's gonna be a couple grand. It's gonna be a lot more than that. but that's included in the cost to build number. Oh, here's a good one. This is my favorite. General contractor fee. Pay no mind to these numbers, by the way. These were all just based on a very specific project. General contractor fee. This is always an argued or debated or um, I would say hot topic when it comes to sitting down with somebody to discuss their new build because I am very transparent. Not everybody is, but I am. This fee is going to get buried somewhere else if I don't put it here. So I might as well put it here. This is what I'm going to make on the project for site supervision and office management. Okay. That is what this general contractor fee entails. That's my salary to run this project for you. Okay. And that includes all of that stuff. It's not my salary to go frame the walls, it's not my salary to go set tile. That's all different line items. That's not all included in here. It's my salary to run the project. This is my fee. Okay. This is my fee to run your project, to build your home for you. Dumpster rentals. We got to have dumpsters to throw things places. RRP testing. Now that's if we're demolishing an existing property. Some of these I'm going to leave. I left in here because a lot of times it does involve raising or demolishing an existing property. We have to have testing done to make sure we don't have asbestos and lead and other kinds of environmental materials in the existing home. And if we do, we got to prep those ahead of time before we just knock something down and spread all that stuff into the air. Okay. That's included in the cost to build. Demolition obviously is going to be included. New electrical service. This is in the site preparation scenario, the category, because we have to have temporary service brought to the property by the public service in that area. So we have temporary power, underground service to that pedestal and that point before we can actually get going. Most municipalities here require us to do that before we start doing any sort of excavation because they got to make sure they can get it there and they don't want to have to disturb other things or have too much activity going on before that is placed. So that is in the site preparation grouping. All right. Now we go to excavation. Okay. All right. So then we go to phase 2. We got foundation. You guys know what foundations are. And any other flat work I have usually in this scenario, this is all in the cost to build. Foundations can be all types, sizes, dimensions, depths, whatever. That cost is all over the map. And again, if I'm delivering a really rough cost to build number to you, I at least need to know, are you doing a basement? Are you doing it on slab? Are you doing a crawl space? What is your foundation scenario? Is it pier and grade beam? Is it helical pier? Is it terra firma? What is it? Okay. I can then give you somewhat of an idea that can roll into this cost to build. That's next step after excavation, part of the cost to build. Okay, then we're going to go in and start framing things up. We're going to bring our MEPs in, which is our mechanical, electrical, and plumbing rough scenarios. We start bringing in wire. We start bringing in ductwork. We start bringing in underground and in-wall plumbing. All of this stuff is going to be included in here. So I've got wall framing, and again, these are all broken down per labor, material. All of your contract subcontractors are in here. All of your trade subs are in here for this type of phase, and then we have a total for each one of these. Okay, so that's all included, obviously, in the cost to build. Then we got a phase 4, which is basically going through the next steps after we pass all of our rough inspections, insulation, interior sheetrock. The roof at this point's already on, but I do have this in the exteriors because it's an exterior type scenario. We have to have the roofing on because it needs to be watertight. Now, I'd use materials, not to get into specifics, that allow me to not have to do the final roof on there to be able to do the MEPs and be watertight, but whole different concept on build. Windows, exterior siding and trim, all that stuff's going to be included in here, and that's on your cost to build. Again, these can be all over the map. If you have ideas on what type of cladding or exterior siding, stucco, stone, whatever it is, if you know how much you're probably going to do all over, just a little bit, and what type, I can give you a breakdown, a better breakdown in cost to build. Again, this is all stuff that affects that number of, hey, Shane, how much does it cost to build these days? Knowing some of these things ahead of time, or at least having an idea of what you kind of want is imperative to being able for me to deliver some type of range of number to build. Okay. Then we're going to get all the finishes. Everything's done there. We're into setting shower pans or building shower pans, installing doors, installing trim, cabinets, flooring, paint, all that stuff is in here. Um, all of your plumbing fixtures start getting installed. All of your electrical starts getting trimmed out with all the devices. All that stuff happens to get you to the final end project. Okay, this is all the stuff that's going to happen here in your final cost to build. And then you'll have a total number down here for labor and materials. Everything's broken down to deliver a cost to build. All right, but that's all the stuff that I need to formulate some sort of real cost to build number. Okay, so if you have an idea, at least how many baths, how many bedrooms, um, what size the lot is a big help. Basements, crawl space, on slab, garage or no garage, types of cladding, like I said, which is an exterior finish, meaning siding or something else. That all helps in allowing me to formulate some sort of rough cost to build. Now, the things you didn't see in there, and keep this in mind because this is what I tell people, there were no tap fees in there, okay? Because those are all over the map too. And most of the time, that is going to be handled with the homeowner once they buy the lot. If it's not a spec build and I don't own it, that's electrical. So running power to the actual site itself, not that's running power to the lot if it doesn't already have it. Okay. That's sewer and water, getting it run to the lot, and then tapping those access points for water and sewer. There's a fee associated with those. That was not included in the cost to build. Okay, so there's a difference between hard and soft costs, and those are kind of the different examples of what's not included versus what's included. So when I say, let's say it's $250 a foot, those are not included in that cost. That's an extra additional cost to you guys. You've got to add into your final cost to build. All right. Any sort of other flat work, like if you're required to do driveway up to the site itself. Sometimes, we're building in more remote locations with much larger lots. Driveway expenses are not in there. Some of those other things, like if you're vying between city and water sewer versus well and septic, again, same scenario. Those things are not included. Can you get those costs rolled in? Sure, but we need to know: are you going to be on city water and sewer, or do you need septic and well? A lot of times I can just tell you what's going on, but again, those costs are not included in that final cost to build. Okay. So all that being said, you're sitting here, you've been patient, you've watched me go through this whole breakdown of costs and how that number is actually derived. What is the current cost to build in the state of Colorado? Depends. I know. It's crazy, but you can be anywhere from 225 a foot, 200 to 225 a foot, all the way to $450 a square foot. And again, it just depends on where you're building and what you're building. So if, again, like I was just saying a second ago, if you guys have a basic idea of what you're building, how big it might be, how many bedrooms, bathrooms, the foundation type, so forth. If you have a basic idea, I can give you some curbs on those numbers, 225 to 275 a foot. That way you can make a better assessment, because I know a lot of you guys are watching this video trying to make a determination on whether you should buy a lot or not based on the cost to build. In general, right now, 225 to 300 a square foot, somewhere in there is going to be your cost to build in Colorado based on those items I showed you on that estimate breakdown. All right. Any other questions, more information, comment below. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Make sure you guys follow me on Instagram. DM me, ask me questions, whatever it is. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate the support. Hit the subscribe button on your way out. Hit that thumb on the way out too. Don't forget to do that. And until next time, guys, keep building.